Hey, good morning guys. How you guys doing today? Welcome to another live lesson. I hope you guys are ready to study some English today. Today, we are going to talk about a couple of different expressions to talk about your optimism and pessimism. And today, I am going to talk about some characteristics that we usually associate with people who are optimistic and pessimistic. Now, before we get into our lesson today, I know many of you had a 4-day weekend. I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful 4-day weekend, and it's a short week, so hopefully it has been a good week for you so far. Alright, 皆さんおはようございます。ですね、多くの方は4連休あったかと思います。ということでね、今週は、短いね、short week. I think it should be a short week for you guys. OK、今日はレッスンに入りたいと思います。今日も、一日頑張りましょう。Alright, well let's get into today's lesson. 今日は英語で楽観的と悲観的を表す表現をいくつかご紹介したいと思います。で、前回と同じように、ただね、表現やフレーズを紹介するだけではなく、そのね、フレーズや、この楽観的、悲観的にまつわる特徴ですね、を英語でいくつかご説明してみたいと思います。Alright, so let's get started, guys. So the question for you guys today is your glass half full or is it half empty? So I want you guys to take a look at this glass up here. I want you to imagine a glass full of water that is up, halfway up in the cup. All right? When you look at this cup and it's halfway, do you see it as half full or do you see that cup as half empty? Depending on how you look at it, they're both correct, right? There is no right or wrong way. It can be half full or it can be half empty. This all depends on your perspective. Both of it means that there is only or there is still half of it left. Okay? So this is actually a question that we would ask each other amongst American people to see if you see things from a more optimistic perspective or a more pessimistic perspective. Okay? まず今日のタイトルですが、Is your glass half full or is your glass half empty? これ皆さんもね、どこかで見たことがあったり聞いたことがあると思いますが、グラスに入っている水、半分入っている時に半分しか入っていないのか、もしくはまだ半分あるのか、これ見方によって違いますよね。これが glass half full と glass half empty の違いになってきます。今日のレッスンでは glass half full の特徴と、あとはちょっとした豆知識、ちょっとね面白い情報を両方シェアしていきたいと思います。I got some fun facts for you guys today as well. Alright, so as you guys can probably guess already, when something is glass half full, or if you are the kind of person who is glass half full, you are basically an optimistic person. You see the positive things in life, right? You expect good things to happen to you all the time. Even if bad things continue to happen, you think the next is going to be good. You are an optimistic person. You see the glass half full. Alright? じゃあまずね、glass half full。これは残り、半分も残っているということで、これは楽観的な人を表すときに使われます。使い方としては、I'm a half glass,もう一回いきますね。I'm a glass half full kind of person というと、私は楽観的な人です。I see things glass half full というと、私は物事を楽観的に見ます、ポジティブに見ますという意味で、これはどちらかというとポジティブな意味で物事を見ることになります。On the opposite of that, glass half empty. Okay, so you're thinking there is only half of it left. You are usually the kind of people that we refer to as pessimistic, right? You are not as excited about good things happening. You think that, there's only a little bit left, okay? なので glass half empty という表現は悲観的という意味で使われ、こちらも使い方は同じように I'm a glass half empty kind of person もしくは I see things glass half empty というふうに使い、私は比較的に物事を悲観的に見るタイプですというふうに表します。So today I'm going to share some data with you guys that I found on the internet. Obviously, you can't trust everything that you read on the internet, but I thought it was pretty interesting. So I'm going to share some of these facts with you guys today. And it has to do with people who are glass half full and glass half empty. Now, this statistic is based on 2,000 people. Okay, so 2,000 people, it's a very, very small sample. All right, so it doesn't represent the world, but of the 2,000 people, 58% of the people said that when they looked at a glass with half of the cup filled up, they said this glass is half full. 16% said it was half empty. And then 26% were indecisive. So they didn't know. They weren't sure if it was half full or half empty. Okay, 今日のレッスンでは今日ねちょっとネットで、見た面白い記事を元に、今日のレッスンを進めていきたいと思います。もちろんねネットで読むことは全部ね100% ね信じるべきものではないのですが、結構面白い情報がありましたので今日は皆さんに共有したいと思います。今回のこちらの統計はですね2000人の人たちに、グラスが入っている半分ね水が入っているグラスを見てhalf full なのか half empty なのかという調査をしました。で 58% の人たちが half full と答え 16% の人たちが half empty と答えます。で 26% の人たちがもう分からないと half full かもしれないし half empty かもしれないし答えが分かりませんということで結構ねこの 26% 意外と大きい数字ですね。だけどここで分かるのが、ここアメリカ人の場合はやっぱ半分以上の人たちは half full 楽観的ということになります。Okay, so people who are glass half full, according to this research at least, tend to be more right-brained. Okay, they tend to be more right-brained. Now, do you guys know what it means to be right-brained? All right, so let me just make sure I have this here. Okay, so first, there are a lot of different characteristics between being right-brained and being left-brained. When you are right-brained, typically you are the kind of person who is more intuitive. You follow your instincts. You are typically a little bit more on the creative side. Typically, musicians, artists, those types of people are said to be right-brained. So people who are glass half full are said to be more on the right-brained side. Okay? They also say that people who are right-brained, they go at their own pace, right? They move at their own pace. They don't worry too much about what other people think. They just move at their own pace. じゃあまずね、楽観的な人の一つの特徴としては、右脳派なんですよね。They are right-brained. で、右脳の人たちはどういう人たちかというと、結構直感に従う人たち、あとは結構その想像力ですね、クリエイティブな人たちが右脳が強いとよく言われています。なのでね、ミュージシャンであったり、アーティストであったり、芸術家などは多くの場合は右脳が強いと言われています。その他にもね、people who are right-brained はマイペースというふうに言われています。Alright, so 楽観的な人は right-brained ってことは glass half empty 悲観的な人は there are more people who are left-brained. So what type of people are left-brained? So left brain people are typically logical thinkers, right? They are the type of people who think about things very carefully. Facts are very, very important to them. They need the numbers, right? They need the numbers for them to believe something. Just telling them, I think this is going to do really good is not enough. They like to have data. Data is a very strong thing for left-brained thinkers. Also, left-brain thinkers are very strong when it comes to math and science. So they're very good when it comes to calculating. They're very fast calculators, right? And they're typically a little bit more organized than right-brain thinkers. OK, じゃあ次は左脳の方ですね。左の方ですね。まあ基本的に論理的なタイプは左の方。あとは結構事実に基づいて考える人たちがね、こちらの左の方なんですよね。なのでただただね、もうきっとこういうことが起こるよってね、その気持ちだけではなく、しっかりと何かこう事実とか数字とかデータ、ね、統計とかに基づいた方がこう信じられるタイプがleft brain になります。ということで、やっぱその理系ですよね。数学とか、数学とか理科が得意な人たち、計算が早い人たちのことを表します。And left brain is also people who are 真面目、あと几帳面な人を表します。Alright? So, they typically say that people who are the type of people who have glasses half empty are more left-brained. Okay? Glass half full. They say people who are glass half full are a little bit more practical. Okay? Now, this is a little bit contradicting to me, at least, right? So, practical. これ日本語で言うと現実的になるのですが、右脳の人はね、その現実的とは多分逆のね、ちょっと僕のイメージではあるので、この辺がちょっと矛盾しているような感じはするのですが、少なくともね、今日見たこのネットのね、記事によると、楽観的な人はより現実的な傾向があると言われています。逆に glass half empty are more sentimental. Sentimental are people who feel things, right? 感情的な人、よりね、物事を感じる人のことを sentimental と言います。やっぱここもちょっと矛盾しますよね。なんか右脳の人の方が感情的な感じがするので、なんかこれをちょっと見たときに I felt like it was contradicting itself, but oh well, you know, this is the data. I'm just showing you the data here right now. Alright? So, of course, there are many other things, but these are some of the basics facts for people who are optimistic and people who are pessimistic. Okay, let's get into the fun facts. 次はね、ちょっとね、この面白い情報をね、見つけました。Number 1, people who are optimistic drink more milk. People who are optimistic drink more milk.I wonder why that is. このね、調査によると楽観的な人は牛乳をより多く飲むそうです。悲観的な人と比べて。So according to this research, milk is something that many American people drink early in the morning.So they were saying that milk drinkers typically wake up in the morning, they get their day started, and they're typically a little bit more positive, but I'm not really sure. なんでね、ここちょっと牛乳が出てくるのかね、僕もちょっと調査のね、統計見てみたのですが、詳しくはね、書いてありませんでした。ただ、楽観的な人の方が牛乳好きだそうです。Okay, next one.People who are optimistic, they typically look for the silver lining. Do you guys remember this word? Silver lining. We did this expression back in April, right? When the coronavirus was hitting us, I introduced to you guys this expression to look for the silver lining. So when you look for the silver lining talks about the sunshine outside of the clouds, right? On a very, very cloudy day, you can focus on the dark clouds, but there are also the silver lining, the light that comes from the outside of the clouds. When you are the type of person who looks for the silver lining, you are the type of person who always looks for the good aspects in difficult situations, right? No matter how bad the situation is, you are the type of person to look for the good in that situation. Silver lining このライブレッスンを始めて一番最初にやりましたね。これ多分4月末にねやった表現だと思うのですが、これ直訳するとね、希望の光ね、Silver lining っていうのは雲の周りから見える光のことを表すんですよね。なので、本当どんよりした一日を考えてみてください。そうすると雲ってね、本当こうグレーな感じで暗い感じがするけど、でも雲の周りを見ると光がね入ってきますよね。あれを Silver lining というんですね。これ比喩的な表現として使われて、When you look for the silver lining、どんなに悪い状況でも必ずいいことがあるということで、もちろん楽観的な人というのは悪いことにねフォーカスを当てるのではなく、いいことを必ず探すというふうになります。いや、ともさんその通りですね。Always looking on the bright side. You are always looking for the good things. Alright? But people who are glass half empty, they have this mentality.When it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. So pour means for the rain to come down really, really hard, right? This is an expression we say when one bad thing happens, another bad thing happens, then another bad thing happens. When one bad thing happens, it just continues to happen non-stop.When it rains, it pours. When bad things happen, it just keeps on happening, right? When it rains, it pours. これね、日本語にすると、雨が降るときは土砂降りだということで、悪いことが起きると、もう連続でその悪いことが続くという考え方なんですよね。なので、見方がちょっと逆ですよね。この場合は悪いことが起きても必ずいいことが次に続く、必ずいいことがあるという考え方に対して、When it rains, it pours というのは、悪いことが今起きてる、これは悪いことが続くんだろうなという考え方を持つのが When it rains, it pours。で、このね、表現の使い方としては、例えば朝起きてね、仕事に行ってる時にチケットを切られた。で、お昼にね、ランチ行った時にタイヤがパンクした。で、ね、夕方になるとね、なんかちょっとミスってしまってね、ちょっと自分の上司から怒られた。When it rains, it pours というふうになります。Alright? There we go. Next one. Fun fact number 3. Glass half full people are typically early birds. They wake up early in the morning. Versus people who are pessimistic are typically night owls. They are night people. So early bird, this is people who wake up early in the morning. Night owl, this is people who stay up late at night. もう一つはこちら、朝型人間が楽観的、そしてね、夜型人間がこちらの Night Owl というふうになります。Alright? 次、最後のね、4番と5番、こちらもね、ちょっと面白い統計があるのですが、For people who are optimistic, they have 11 quote-unquote better than average days a month. They have 11 quote-unquote better than average days a month. So when you look back on your month, how many really, really good days have you had? Okay, since we are at the end of the month, how many really good days did you guys have in the month of September? Is it more than 9 or is it more than 11 or is it less than 11? ここは何かというと、1ヶ月間の中で、平均よりもいい1日、要するにすごく良かった1日が平均で11日あったということになるんですね。それに対して悲観的な人は9日、9 days ということで、これもね分かりやすいですよね。やっぱ少なめになります。Alright? And last one here, the time they spend on hobbies is a little bit different. So people who are optimistic, typically spend about 21 hours on their hobbies every single week, versus people who are pessimistic spend about 14 hours on their hobbies every single week. All right? And Yoriko-san, very good point. People who watch my live lessons are early birds. So many of you might be glass half full kind of people. All right? ということでね、こちらが glass half full と glass half empty に関するね、ちょっとした面白いリサーチでした。まあこれがね、必ずしも正しいわけではないのですが、まあ楽観的な人、悲観的な人でよく見られる特徴がこういったものになります。Alright. Well, I think the most interesting one of all is this milk. I have no idea why people who are optimistic drink more milk, because I consider myself a glass half full kind of person. I typically see things in a positive light. I always look for the good things. But I hate milk. I really don't like milk. I haven't had milk since I was a little kid. So this doesn't apply to me. I am not a milk drinker. I do drink milk when I eat my cereal. That's the only time. But I hardly ever eat cereal as well. So yeah, you know, milk is not my thing, but I still consider myself a pretty optimistic person. Alright? じゃあね、ちょっとね、この glass half full と glass half empty の使い方を簡単に紹介したいと思います。これ文章でどういう風に使うのか。私は楽観的な人ですと言いたい場合は、I'm a glass half full kind of person. I'm a glass half full kind of person という風に表現するんですね。もしくはI see the glass half empty. I see the glass half full. 一般的にこの2つの使われ方が、会話で使われます。こちらの方は私は物事を悲観的に見る。ね、ここをね、glass half full にしたら私は物事を楽観的に見るというふうになります。Alright, so there you go guys. Alright. OK, それでは今日の宿題に入りましょう。So the homework for today is this right here. Is your glass half full or is your glass half empty? Let me know in the comment section below, or you could write it in your journal. You can post this on Instagram or Twitter. If you do, make sure you put hashtag Hapa lesson. All right. So here's the quote for today. Let's see if you guys get this mini joke here. My blood type is B positive. You guys get that? I'll try it one more time. My blood type is B positive. All right, so this is just a pun, right? This is what we call playing with words right here. My blood type is not B. My blood type is actually O. But, you know, maybe for many of you guys might be type B. But anyway, being positive, I think being positive is a very, very strong characteristic to have. The way I look at it, you have two different ways to look at things in life. Either it's going to work out or it's not going to work out. Either you are going to become successful or you are not going to, it's not going to work out. You are going to fail. You don't know the outcome, but you get to choose how you feel. If you get to choose which way you want to go to, I feel like it's always better to choose the positive side. Alright? OK! ということでですね、すいません。こちらの今日のコートはですね、私のね、血液型は B ポジティブ。まあね、ここはちょっと言葉の遊びです。パンというのは言葉の遊びということで、まあここはB タイプではなくね、私は常にポジティブでいるブラッドタイプ、血液型ですということになります。Alright guys, well thank you guys very much for watching today. Our next lesson is going to be next week Thursday. 来週ね、もう10月になりますね。10月もこのライブレッスンを、1ヶ月間続けたいと思います。なんかもう早いですね。1年間がもう、この2020年がもう終わってしまいそうです。もう早く終わってほしいですね。2020年もいろんなことがあったので。Well, anyway, 来週が、 来週のライブレッスンはこちらの方になります。Alright. So, I'll give you guys a minute to take a picture. こちら、写真をどうぞ撮ってください。Alright, as always guys, thank you very much for all your donations. I really appreciate it. And just one quick reminder, Hapa Buddies is still free to use. So we have about maybe 1 week left for the month of September. So if you want to try out Hapa Buddies, it's the Hapa英会話 community. Come and join us. It's a lot of fun, and if you even 1 week will give you a pretty good idea of what we do there. So come and join us. All right. Well, you guys have an amazing weekend, and I'll catch you guys again next time. Take it easy, guys. Peace.